Good morning. Hello. I'm doing a check-in. I didn't do a check-in yesterday because it felt really good for me just to be in the moment and to be present and to play. And honestly, one of the things that I'm experiencing as a result of everything that's been shifting for me is the ability to create whatever or call upon whatever experience I want to experience, regardless of the circumstances that are playing out around me. To understand that when we talk about manifestation, or people get really caught up in that thing, The Secret, it's not about changing the world outside of you. It's your ability to create within yourself what you want to experience, and ultimately you get to that place by making space for and allowing all experiences. So certainly allowing joy and happiness and childish exuberance, and also allowing anger and frustration and grief and sadness, and letting there be a certain joy in experiencing the entire spectrum of emotion. And in doing that and giving each and every one of those emotions and states of being permission to be, it really frees, at least for me, I've noticed it's freeing me up to kind of call forth whatever I want in any moment, and to feel just the vast support of being present to presence, and the support of the universe, even as things around me in form seem totally uncertain and up in the air. And so I'm just playing with that and not pushing forward with the form of things just yet, because it seems like this is a big piece dropping in of what I'm being guided to do, this whole idea of presence and being present to all, and being present to the joy of all that exists, and helping people understand that when they are able to sit with and be present to whatever their experience is, but rather than distract themselves from it or run from it or do things to avoid it, that's really where the answer resides. And it's just funny how we spend so much of our lives doing the total opposite. And so today, where I am, and this is something that's started surfacing, I guess, maybe around 5 this morning, were just these feelings of anger, and old anger, and anger that has been shut down, and anger that has been squelched, and anger that is really not allowed, especially for women within our society, and anger that it honestly feels like, anger of thousands and thousands of years, anger that is not necessarily just my anger that is collective anger, anger that is not necessarily pretty or kind, and at the same time is completely vital and worthy, and has a place. And so I'm sitting with it and just feeling this almost like hot, searing pressure come up from within, and rather than freaking out about it or making it about certain situations in my life, I'm just being present to the experience of it, and understanding that it doesn't need to have even necessarily the label of anger. I don't need to figure out where it came from. I don't need to get rid of it. I can just be with it. And given that I'm really trying to be more playful with whatever I'm experiencing, and find the joy in whatever I'm experiencing, and maybe I'm a bit of a masochist, but I think sometimes it feels actually really good to not feel so good. There's something about like being down in it that can actually, I don't know, to me at least, there's something almost satisfying about it, something that feels very real and true. And so today I am playing with anger, and just asking anger, like if anger were to, be my friend who came out for the day to hang out, how would we play together? Like what do we get from being together? What can I learn? If I were to let anger just sit across the table from me and to exist within me, how does that serve me? And this isn't about any one specific situation. It really is for me just about letting anger have a voice. And as a good girl, or a recovering good girl, or I don't know, I'm probably more of a good girl than a recovering good girl, anger is really wanting its time in the sun, and that's fair. And that doesn't mean that I go and vomit that onto others, but it does mean that I have a really I make a sacred space for that communion with anger, and we have chats, and I let anger talk about how it's so fucking pissed off for being kept quiet for so long, and how there's just this anger, you know, this frustration of being kept silent, of being held down, that I have felt in many different instances, like whether it's just reading Facebook posts, or, you know, reading about things that are going on in the world, or experiencing things as a woman, or you know, experiencing the anger that comes from boundary violations, whether it's me in someone else's space, which happens all the time, or others being in my space. There's that anger, and yet anger, we don't talk about that, you know, except for when it sort of spews out in uncontrollable ways. And so I'm letting it talk, and it's pissed. It's pissed because it's such a valuable emotion. It has every right to exist, and you know, it has every right to say fuck that to so many different things. And so I'm just listening to anger today, and paying attention to what it has to say, and really taking in the value of what it's communicating to me, and being with that, and kind of delighting in the badassness that is anger, because it is badass. It's fierce, and it's there for a reason, and it's not there, you know, anger wants love as much as anything else does. Anger wants acceptance, anger wants a place, anger wants a home, and anger can very much originate in love. I don't think anger is something that necessarily has to come from fear or a lack of awareness. I think anger can be very centered, and so I'm just playing with that. That's my experience today, and as a result, probably not going to be doing any NADUPOR videos or copy, because you know, maybe I'll do a blog post on anger. How about that? But I don't really necessarily want the anger to be the energy that I'm leading with. Not that it doesn't have its time and place, but it feels like it's coming up in big ways right now. So yeah, I might not do a lot of NADUPOR stuff, but maybe I'll do a video on it and post it to Facebook, or post it on my blog or something. So that's where I am, playing with anger, hanging out, seeing, you know, what if I were to allow this to become a really sacred friendship, and allow it its own space for expression. So that's me. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.